Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Novita Ardiana Putri from Biologi Class A. Here I will give answer to some questions in the Fiqih course that Mr. Munirul gave. The first is the law of mut'ah marriage. In determining the law of mut'ah marriage, the scholars are divided into two different streams. The first stream says that mut'ah marriage is forbidden. The second stream, the law of mut'ah marriage is halal. However, Indonesia Ulama who joined the Indonesia Ulama Council thought the Fatwa Commission have prohibited mut'ah marriage and the perpetrators of mut'ah marriage must be brought before the court in accordance with the applicable law and regulation. The Indonesia Ulama Council forbid mut'ah marriage based on the argument put forward by many scholars regarding the prohibited of mut'ah marriage, one of which in the Al-Quran Surah Al-Mu'min, verse 5-7. The first is to limit sexual regulations that are lawful, namely only the woman who function as wife or servants only. Outside of this, mut'ah marriage is not allowed because it does not function as a wife. Thus, the conclusion is that the law of mut'ah marriage, especially in Indonesia, is forbidden. The second is the law on the donor and transplantation of limbs or organs to people in need. There are differences between the law of donor and organ transplants. Some allow it and some don't, as in Al-Quran letter Al-Ma'idah verse 2, which means, "And have you in doing goodness and peace, and do not hate is in an enmity. Fear Allah, then Allah is very severe in punishment." The first explain that people who need a donor or grave need help. So as Muslim, it is obligatory to help and do good. Meanwhile, Mufti Muhammad Syafi'i and Dr. Abdul Al-Salam Al-Shukri state that organ transplantation is not permissible based on principle and the top various considerations, such as the sanctity of life, the human body as a touch, treating the human body as a material object, reversing the glory of human life. Thus, the conclusion is that Islam allows organ transplantation to people in need with certain terms and conditions. A person in good health in muqayyad or condition, and the organ taken from the body of a patient who is dead. The third, post-mortem law for research. In Islam, a person has an obligation to honor people who have died, because human as creature of Allah, the most perfect, the noble among other creatures of Allah. I state Isra verse 70, which reads, "And indeed we have honored the children and grandchildren of Adam, and we carried them on land and in the sea, and we gave them sustenance from the good, and we treated them above many creatures that we judged with perfect advantage." The first describes the glory, honor, and privilege of every human being. So when the human dies, it must be honored as it should be. Likewise, according to Sharafi, if someone commits an act by destroying or disrespecting the corpses, Islam forbids that action. Meanwhile, some contemporary scholars as Sheikh Said Ramadan Al-Buti, Sheikh Hasanain makhluk and several Muslim Fatma institutions always autopsy to be carried out with the aim of the benefit in the field of health, security, and justice. Thus, the conclusion in Islam is the performing post-mortem is forbidden because that humans which be honored. However, according to contemporary scholar, it is permissible with the aim of benefiting the health and safety field. The fourth, the law of sex change or operation, the gender that Allah has ordained for His service is a very perfect gift, so it is not justified for the servants to change the gender that has been given. Therefore, the law of sex change or operation or transsexual is haram. As in the letter Al-Hujarat, verse 13, which reads meaning, "O people, indeed we created you from a male and a female. Then we made you into nation and tribes so that you might know one another. Verily, the most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is most pious. Verily, Allah is all-knowing, all-aware." On the other hand, were something with genital abnormalities, genital surgery promoted to perfect the organ has allowed recommended in Islam. So it can conclude that the law of genital surgery is forbidden, except for someone who has abnormalities in this general, so in Islam is recommended to perfect it. 5. The law of cloning in an Islamic perspective. Cloning can be done on living things such as animals, plants, and humans. In Islam, Allah never forbids His servants to conduct research on His creation. Islam even encourages people to do that with the aim of getting closer to Allah. As in Quran Surat Al-Imran verse 190 to 191, which explain the we can know that human who obey Allah, it is recommended it learn about His creation. Allah created this universe not in vain, because many benefits will be obtained by studying it carefully and wisely. For example, cloning animals and plants. Meanwhile, from version legal consideration, the scholar is of Fiqih experience reject the practice of cloning in human. According to usul Fiqih point of view that everything has more harm that is benefit, it is better to reject it. There are proofs in the Quran that does not allow cloning of human, namely in Surah Al-Nisa verse 119, which explain that we are prohibited from cloning Allah's creation, especially His perfect creation on human. However, He has called the delving path. Therefore, it can be concluded that the law of cloning in animal and plant is allowed, while cloning in human aggravated is not allowed because it can cause perfect creation. So the answer I can give. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.